Hey guys, so today we're going to look at more conspiracy theories, because I'm just on a kick. But first, I just got done watching Rugrats, Tales from the Crib, Snow White, from 2005. Basically, it's Snow White told by babies, where Angelica is the evil queen, surprise, surprise, and Susie is Snow White. The rest of the babies and the dog play the dwarves, but copyright issues, they are referred to as the 7 minis or the dwarf babies. They're referred to as both. So, all in all, not a bad waste of 71 minutes. And they made a different Strokes reference, so that was fun. Yeah. They also have one of, the same Tales from the Crib, but Jack and the Beanstalk, which I have yet to see, but I'll get around to it. So, at least on Netflix, I'm sure they released more. That's what's on Netflix. Not a bad retelling, and I never noticed, that Amanda Bynes was the babysitter actually telling the story. So that was, I don't know, very nostalgic, I suppose. So, I mean, I say go for it, whatever. It's not a waste of time. It's a little goofy, but what do you expect? I really don't think it's striving for serious. Like, the babies, or the dwarves, they work in a diaper factory instead of mining. Because what 3-year-old's gonna relate to mining? However, the diapers are made out of diamonds, which I think is funny. And also, what kid's gonna get a different Strokes reference? But hey, I thought it was funny. So, now, my friend informed me that there are Rugrats conspiracy theories, which doesn't surprise me, but I had just never thought about that, that it could be possible. So, let's look at them. Actually, I was reading it. I have heard of it, but I've never really given it that much thought. So let's give it some thought. Okay, there actually looks like 2 versions. Might as well talk about both. Okay. The Rugrats were a figment of Angelica's demonic and unimaginable imagination. Okay? Chucky died in 1997 along with his mother, and that's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time. Maybe, people are just nervous wrecks. Yeah, it happens when you lose a child, sure, but even without a loss of a child, people are still nervous wrecks. I know plenty of them, most of which don't even have children. Tommy was born in 2000, but he was a stillborn. That's why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for the son who never had a chance to live. Or he lived and Stu likes to make toys. It's probably cheaper than buying them. The DeVilles had an abortion in 2001. Angelica couldn't figure out whether it would be a boy or a girl, thus Phil and Lil were created. Or the DeVilles didn't have an abortion and had twins. Basically, I'm trying to say that while Angelica is twisted beyond comprehension, that she probably didn't make up the babies. Okay. As for, sorry, I lost my place. As for All Grown Up, the teenage, and let's not talk about how bad All Grown Up is. The teenage Angelica became addicted to various narcotics which further aggravated her schizophrenia, bringing her back to her childhood, and thus her creations. Thus her creation she obsessed over because the time lapse between the present and the last time she interacted with her creations. She made them older. Angelica was constantly taking hits of acid, so she would never have to live without her creations who were her only company. In a judgmental world, Angelica's mom actually died of a heroin overdose in 1982, just after Angelica was born. And Drew, in his depression, married a gold-digging whore that Angelica idolized because she fooled herself into thinking it was her real mom that had always had a concept of her mom, Cynthia, and took a Barbie doll and made it after her mom's image. I'm sorry I'm pausing the grammar and punctuation on this blog. It's a creepypasta, but the grammar and the punctuation's really crappy. It's the internet. Okay. Made it after her mom's image, wearing an unwashed orange dress and having jacked up hair, which is why she was so attached to it. Later in life, she followed in her mom's footsteps with drugs and everything, dying in an overdose at age 15 when All Grown Ups was cancelled. I don't know what to say about that one. Like, I really never watched All Grown Up because I thought it was horrendous. But what I did watch of it, definitely didn't think that Angelica was an acid-tripping whore. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe she just... When it comes to that Barbie doll, you're not a child, specifically a girl child, if you don't cut off the hair of a Barbie doll. I've done it. My brother did it at one point to one of my Barbie dolls, and not out of spite, I actually let him. But, no, I like how they have, like, the exact years that, you know, the mom died, and, okay. This next part's pretty weird, but okay. The only Rugrat not to be fictional, however, was unborn Tommy's brother, Dill, whom was born in 2002. However, Angelica didn't know the difference between Dill and her creations, although Dill didn't follow her commands for, obvious reasons. One day in 2005, after endless crying and refusal to disappear like the others did when Angelica was angry with them, she hit him. Due to this, he sustained a brain hemorrhage, which resulted in a deformation. As he grew up, his damage only became more evident, and by the time he was 11 and all grown up, he lived as an outcast, being ridiculed for his weirdness and retardation. The immense guilt over this is what led Angelica to her drug use, and what led Angelica to uncreate the Rugrats briefly until her experience with acid. Knowing Angelica from the original Rugrats, because like I said, no, All Grown Up can suck it. I would believe that Angelica would hit Dill. That's okay. Even as a older child, hit him enough to do a brain hemorrhage? Even if he was a baby and, I don't know, she was, that doesn't say how old she was, but we'll just assume she was relatively his age, give or take, a couple years. Probably not. So, no. On a trip to Paris to find love, Chaz, Chucky's dad, married a woman named Kira. And if you remember, he was actually going to marry Coco, but she's a gold-digging whore. Okay. Kira had a daughter named Kimmy that was torn from her because she was a cocaine addict. Angelica imagined her from Kira's stories. He lost his mind after the death of his wife and was in denial that she was ever a prostitute. Upon return to America, Chaz and Kira married, and she got her green card. It was actually a really happy romantic story. Kira continually struggled with addiction, but was relatively happy with her life and Chaz. I'm pretty sure as a kid I saw the movie where they go to Paris. I haven't seen it recently, but I remember it enough to say this. Kira, and Kimmy for that matter, none of them looked like they were on drugs. I mean, granted, they're not going to make it evident in a kid's film, but kids aren't stupid either. So, no. Susie was actually Angelica's only friend who entertained the thought of Angelica's creation for Angelica's sake. Angelica spent the last days of her life in the back of the school cafeteria, imagining friends around her and playing with the lives of her creations. Okay. I can see Susie being Angelica's only friend, because Angelica's Angelica. But I don't see anything else out of that.